Good morning and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and we're set for another hour of hanging out together and keeping each other company. So come on in, grab a chair. It's lovely and toasty in here. Very foggy outside. Grace, darling Grace, is in the room with your good selves, ready to help you. And other than that, I hope that the sound is good. So let me just check here. Let me just see. Grace, there she is. She'll be telling me that the sound is good any minute now. And let me just make sure that I've got, there they are. Good morning, friends. Come on in. It's a very foggy day out here in the southeast of England. You couldn't see your nose in front of your face today. Sound is great, says Grace. So come on in. We're traveling gently today, friends. Grace and I had a fabulous weekend, and Dave, of course, had a wonderful weekend, had so much fun. I'll tell you all about it during the course of the hour. But today I thought we'd just travel gently. And yeah, I thought it would be nice to have a little lesson in colouring today, because we were doing those beautiful little fat robins last week. And I thought, yeah, because I'm not here next week, Dave and I are going to Madeira for a long weekend, aren't we lucky? And so I won't be here next week. So I thought, well, just for today, let's hang out together and do a little bit of colouring. So let's let our friends find us first, and then we'll get started. And how are you? Everything good? Come on in. I'm just checking that everybody's here. Yeah, Grace is here. Hello, hello. Good morning, Jacqueline. How are you? In sunny Oxford, I guess. Tell us what the weather's like where you are, would you? That'd be nice. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Vanessa. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Grace and I had a marvellous Saturday. We went up to London to the V&A. Yeah, it was great. And so much for our intermittent fasting. Our intermittent fasting, that fell by the wayside, I could tell you, especially yesterday. Was the disco good? The disco was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Why I think at the ripe old age of 66 that I can still pogo is delulu, really, absolutely delusional. Lovely here in Manchester, says Debbie. Nice to hear. Love Manchester. Both Grace and I went to university up there. The best city in the world. I love Manchester. Certainly for students, great place. Foggy here too in Warwickshire, foggy and drizzly in Dorset. Yoo-hoo. So I know that's Lillian. Yeah, come on in. Estepona as well. Sunny but still a little cool, says Lorraine in Estepona. Ah, well. If you don't like the weather, just wait a minute, as they say, eh? Now, let me see. What were we going to do today? Well, didn't we have a busy Friday? You certainly liked those branches, twigs, and dragonflies or damselflies. You did like them, didn't you? We'll have another little look at those this afternoon. Yeah, they're lovely. So arty and so achievable. It doesn't take much to make a really beautiful card. So we'll have another little look at those this afternoon. And then while we're waiting for our friends to turn up, let's have a look at what else is going on this week, shall we? Yeah, let's have a look. So this afternoon, there we go, Barbara and Paul at 2 o'clock. We'll just be, I seem to have a lot of demos, really cool demos from the bird rounds, because you know it's Japan month at the moment. So we had those lovely Japan bird months rounds last Sunday. And then we had the twigs and sprigs on Friday. And so I thought it'd be really good to gather up all those demos that I haven't done and put them into one show. So this afternoon It's going to be a demo heavy, art sample heavy hour, at least an hour. I thought it'd be nice. And also I thought I would fold, show you how to fold a paper crane too. So that'd be nice. So let's have a look. That's what we're doing this afternoon. And then tomorrow it's Groovy Tuesday. So for all you parching friends, Tuesday is always the day, isn't it? And we've got Louise in the morning with Groovy Tuesday. And then in the afternoon, Paul and Louise will be treating you to something lovely. Don't know what it is, but I'm sure it'll be nice. Now on Wednesday, the 11th of March, I'm off up to Hobby Maker in Redditch with Paul. And I've got a 2-hour show up there, a 2-hour block from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, which I'm very happy about because it's Grace's last day here. So I want to get home to at least spend a couple of hours with her before we all head off in different directions on Thursday. So Thursday I head off to Madeira and with Dave, and Grace heads off to the south of France, which sounds very glamorous and very ritzy, but it isn't actually. She's doing a great thing. She's going to see her grandma, her other grandmother, who lives in the south of France and who is blind, completely blind. And so Grace does what Grace does, which is go and spend a few days with her blind grandmother. So I know that Barbara, her name is Barbara too, she will be very happy to spend some time with Grace. I was going to say to see Grace, but unfortunately that's not the case anymore. She's a fabulous woman though. I really like my ex-mother-in-law. She's great, real character, you know, and very, very smart, clever girl. Yeah, so that'll be good. Grace is going to go and do that. And we're going to go to Madeira for a few days, and then we'll be back next week. So in our absence, of course, the show must go on, and on Friday at 10 o'clock. It's my birthday, Friday the 13th. I know, Friday the 13th. Unlucky for some, but lucky for me, because I was born that day. I was born on Friday the 13th. Now, let me see. 10 o'clock in the morning, Louise and Paul. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Louise and Paul. So there you go. While the cat's away, the mice will play and all that good stuff. So Louise and Paul will be here to keep you company on Friday. And my guess is that it will be a groovy Friday. So that'll be fun. And I appreciate them doing that so that Dave and I can have a little break. We have so much to be grateful for, Lillian. You're absolutely right. Don't we take it for granted that you can see me and I can see you? Imagine. I know. Imagine that. My mum's getting her cataracts done at the end of this month as well. She's almost blind in one eye now, but they want to help the other eye. You know? I know. We have, as Lillian says, a lot to be grateful for. But let's not dwell on that. Let's not dwell on what could be not happening for us. And let's just keep it glass half full today. So are we ready to do some colouring? Yes, let's have a look. So what I wanted to do was talk about the newspaper, because since January, we've been printing, I've been writing and putting together a monthly newspaper, which has been very well received. I hope that you're enjoying it. It goes out with every order that we send. Hi, Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you. It goes out with every order that we send. And I really enjoy writing it, actually, because I like writing. And I've been neglecting the blog a little bit, and I do apologize for that, but you can't do it all. And so And so I've been leaning into the newspaper, which is a lot of work, believe you me. You know, it might only be 4 pages, but it's still lots of work. There you go, Christine Wilson. I have the first 3. Well, then you have all 3. And what I wanted to do today was take a look at the 3. As I say, you know, we were asked several times about doing a digi download and all that good stuff. And I say I would prefer it to be able to send it out, because it lives on paper. That's all I keep saying to myself. A newspaper lives on paper. And I come from that generation, as probably do you, where we read newspapers, you know. And so we're on a bit of a nostalgia trip. Well, I am. And I think that it's great to be able to sit with a cup of tea and read a newspaper, you know, that's not rammed full of adverts or, you know, and I've tried to use newspapers online and magazines. It doesn't really work for me, but maybe that's because I come from that generation where we read newspapers and we have them in our hands, and we, you know, I'm not talking about the financial, I'm not talking about the bloke on the train with the FT that's just taking up 3 seats. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a little community rag, as they call it. And so I thought we'll take a look. For example, this was issue 1, and I managed to grab a picture of most of the team. And you can see, if you're wondering where it comes from, I can show you here. Let me just move all this out of the way. It's got a little issue. It's got a welcome. Don't neglect to see this one here. We talk about meet the team. Then there's a little editorial by myself. Then inside, this is, you can see it's going to evolve as we go on. So there's a little article that I wrote about Clear Space, Clear Mind, online courses, product of the month, a word search, just lots of different things. Maker of the month on January was Eileen Godwin. There you go. And then on the back, which is crucial, is the TV Times. Now, the TV Times, if you remember, or the Radio Times, it tells you what's coming up. And so what we do is we actually, we make it, we've got a really handy calendar. This part, we actually copy and paste into the newsletter that goes to all our club members as well. So the good thing about this is that we send out the newspaper, we start sending out like the February issue, the last week in January. We're going to start sending out the April issue, the last week in March, so that anybody that orders in the last week in the month before, we start sending out the new newspaper. So we're printing off lots of them, thousands, which is really flattering. And I think that you're enjoying it. I certainly haven't heard anything negative about them. And we always try and put a little treat in as well. So this was the January one. I know that a lot of you are starting to collect them. This was the February one. So once again, same format, meet the team. This is an interesting one because it was all about, obviously, February, the gift of giving, beautiful pillow that I was given, very, very generous by Janet. And then in here, you see, it was all about, not Cracker Jack, but the SHAC, and about what we got up to in the shack. And then there was a colouring postcard. I'm going to put that to one side. And then there was a, so you started getting more when I didn't have enough room. So then we put a little flyer in about the retreats and the workshops. We had a really good response to that, which is great. And our maker of the month in February was Glynis. There you go. Product of the month, that blew the doors off. So you can see what the product of the month is as well, I guess. And there's the February TV Times, which is really good to have because it tells you exactly first Sunday of the month. You can tell the key. If it's blue, it's here in-house. Okay, so it's Clarity Social TV. If it's pink, that means we're up at Hobby Maker. And you know, it was really good of them as well. I asked, don't ask, don't get. I asked whether it would be okay if we put these in with all the orders that we send out for Hobby Maker. And the guy, the top man there, said, brilliant idea. He said it's a really wholesome community building thing. I said, it is. Thank you. So that was February. And then March was a biggie. I went for it in March. We went for it in March. Having said that, I do most of the newspaper myself. And you can see here, this is a double issue, Japan month. So we really went for it in this one. And again, there was the flyer. There was also a really nice piece of blossom paper. This blossom paper, you're going to need it this afternoon, folks, if you're going to do this with me. I mean, we did put, just so you know, I'll show you, there's a QR code to take you straight to a YouTube video of the folding of cranes. But why not do it together? We can do it together too. Why not? It's really lovely. It's so relaxing, very mindful. I thought we'd do that this afternoon. But just in case there are friends that are watching and don't know about the newspaper, it goes out January, February, March. It goes out with every order going out the building. And I know that lots of you are collecting them. Now, the March one was a double pager. So I did a step-by-step on the geisha. There's the origami crane. You can see here, scan to fold along with me. So we give you this in the newspaper, and then there's a video. Scan this with your telephone, and then it takes you straight to the video. It's also loaded in Clarity Crafts YouTube channel, so you can also go that way. There are different routes to the video now too. You don't have to have the newspaper to see the video. Okay, just saying. Right, what the birds tell us, it was all about the birds in Japanese culture. They're just little articles that I've written. So forgive me that I'm not doing a lot of blogging at the moment. I do want to get started again. I just run out of steam, friends, you know. I'm 67 on Friday, and I just run out of steam. And I just find by the evenings, what I ought to do is do the blog in the morning. But then I'm supposed to come to work. So what time do you get up then, Barbara? Now, let's see. So here we see those beautiful bird rounds that we released last week, a new trio. They're very lovely. This set of stamps, I think this is after I come back from Madeira. And then I did a Sudoku, which is a numbers game, but a lot of people love it. And then on the back, as ever, the Clarity Times for March, Clarity TV Times. So, yeah, I hope that you enjoy the newspapers. I know I enjoy writing them. I've already written the April one. Oh, yes, I have. All about flowers. Really nice. I enjoyed doing that one. And I ought to start on the May one, because there's a lot to consider, you know. And if you're like me, you want to do, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well, isn't it? Sue Carpenter. Hey, Sue. Love the newspaper and all the mixture of snippets of news, puzzles and calendar. Yeah. I thought that would be enjoyable. Just little bite-sized pieces, you know. Oh, this bloody chair. Right. So in the March one, it was the origami paper. Save that for this afternoon. And if you haven't got this, get some thin paper that you have got and cut it down to 5 by 5 inches square. These papers are beautiful. If you haven't got them, treat yourself, because they're so gorgeous. And they're very thin, but they're tough. They don't crunch when you fold them. 31964, Japanese blossom papers. All different colorways. Really, really pretty. Enough to make a paper crane chain. Isn't that lovely? Really pretty. Yeah, so that's this afternoon. And this morning, I thought I'm just going to calm down, travel gently, and let's have a little lesson in colouring. So this is the topper, or the print, laser print. It's digitally printed. It's lovely quality, that we popped into the February issue. Now, if you haven't got this, then grab maybe you've got the poster. Do you remember the floral alphabet poster? Maybe you could spend half an hour doing that. Colouring is good for the soul. We know that. We know that. And it's also really nice to just learn a couple of little tricks. So flowers, we've got floral alphabet poster, really lovely. Must get some, as often see an origami I'd like to do, but paper is really too thick. It is, even copy paper's too thick, Jacqueline. Right, now, so let's have a look and let's get started. I thought I'd start on the centre, on the daisy, and I'm going to make her, let's not say white, let's say light, okay? And I'm going to come in close, and I'm just going to stick with her. So I'm going to use polychromos. I'm going to use, let's see, blues, and I think I'll go with ivory. So the light blue, the sky blue and the ivory, those two are in the essential pack of pencils, the one with all the greys. See, there it is. I nicked the ivory out of this one. I pinched the ivory out of there, so I didn't have it with me. So I'm going to use ivory and blue, and then I'll probably, yeah, that's it. And then I'll probably go to a darker blue, which is in the spring collection, which is called, oh, my eyesight, light ultramarine. So you can see it's a darker blue than that one, light ultramarine. I'm going to go for that one. What do I need? I need a sharpener. I need a sharpener. So I'm going to go for that. And I've got an eraser. I've got a pink eraser pencil. It's the pink I want. Just in case I go in too heavy, I want to change something. But this is how it works. So I'm going to start with the light blue pencil. I'm going to go light, and then I'm just going to build up layers. Now, what I want to do first is just start in the centre. Let's start at the tips or at the centre with the light one, and we're just going to stick to the outer edge like that and there. So you're just going to light feathery strokes, and I'm leaving, you can see I'm leaving a little white gap, but I'm using my finger. So my finger helps me. So I hold my nail where I want to stop, and I just bounce off that. So little strokes like that and like that, but I'm leaving a white mark in the middle. See? So up I go again, flick, flick, and then on that side as well. I kind of obliterated the white bit in the middle. Look, I'll show you. Up like that and like that. So I'm leaving a gap in the middle. Can you see that? My eyesight's not what it could be, but it could be a hell of a lot worse. There you go. You see that? Yeah. You know, with Grace going to see Barbara, blind grandma. I'm sure I've spoken about her before, right? It kind of brings it home, doesn't it? Just how much we take for granted. So Barbara always had issues, even when I was married to her son. You know, she always had problems with her eyes, glaucoma. She had glaucoma, and I guess it just caught up with her in the end, you know. But she was always undergoing surgeries. Terrible, really. So there we are. So you can see what I'm doing, can you? How I'm leaving a little white stripe in there. Yeah, let's do that. So just make a little white gap. And then flick, 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 flick. There we are. And if your pencil gets a little bit blunt, then you could do two things. You can either twizzle it until you get because as you're flattening this side to a chisel, when you turn it round, it's sharper on the other side. So just flick, flick, flick. I think the thing about colouring as well is that it's not a race, is it? You know? See what I'm doing? It's not a race, you know? You just take your time. I remember my mum, I spent hours just doing a flower. She said, "Oh, it's far too long for one flower." And I thought, well, no, not for me, it's not, because what it does for me is it just gets me right in the zone. See, because now that one's behind that one. So I'm just adding a little bit of flower there, a little bit of blue there, just in the background there, because it's in the shadow. Can you see that okay? Now, let's see. And then at this end, we'll go round again, but this end will just stay in the tip. So we're leaving a white bit there, you see? So start in the tip, and I use my finger just to hold it. Just flick, flick, flick like that. Just tip, tip, tip. Now, if you wanted to, at the tip, let's see if we can do the same thing with that gap. There. See the gap? Let's see if that works. See? So you could go like that, like that. I mean, I've said this many times to you. I'm no expert. I am no expert. I don't have an art degree. There. I have an inquiring mind. That's what I do have. And I guess if you do something for a long time, usually you get quite proficient at it, don't you? There you go. Especially if you're always trying to improve and learn and get better, which I know a lot of you do. I see your work. It's like absolutely glorious. I love seeing your work, your makes on Clarity Worldwide and Groovy Worldwide and Pergamano Worldwide. Just gorgeous, you know. And if you're one of those people, oh, my work's not good enough, I'm never going to show anybody my work. Well, you know, that's fine too. That's all right. It's not a competition, is it? It's not a competition. And comparison, one thing I learned a long time ago, comparison is the robber of joy. If you start comparing you or yourself or your art with other people's art, then you're on a slippery slope, really. It always makes you feel inadequate then, doesn't it? There's always going to be somebody better than you. I'm well aware of that. A lot of the people in this room now are better than me at colouring. Come on. If I was the best, then that would be a sorry state of affairs. But what I can do is show you a few tricks. So you see that optical illusion, how that white stripe is going through the flower. Do you know what this is as well? This is just the same as when we do Parchment craft. Come on, hands up. Who's a parcher? Now, I know that I learned this from Linda and from Louise. You can learn it too now. When you're doing white work, right, and you start going in on the flower, especially the flowers, you know, I love doing that, where you go in and but you're doing it in reverse. It's with the white. So you're going to leave a dark, see, we're going the other way. I'm leaving a white stripe. But when you do it with the white work, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and the white gets whiter and whiter and whiter, and you keep leaving that little line down the middle of the flower. See, I love doing that. I love doing that. And it takes time with Groovy, you know, or with Parchment. And you take the smaller tool and the smaller tool and start out with the number 6 ball tool, then the 4x0.5, then the 3. I know all the theory, I know how it works. But doing this with the pencils is similar to if this was an embossing tool, isn't it? It's a similar kind of skill, if you see what I mean. This could be an embossing tool, and now you're putting a little bit of white down there like that, and then a little bit of white down the side of the flower there, and then you come in a bit tighter and a bit tighter and a bit tighter until you get that really cool stripe right in the middle. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, people, don't ever be... I mean, it's difficult. I know it's difficult to say, you know, don't compare your work with others, because we do. It would be weird if we didn't. But what I'm going to say is, rather than let other people's brilliant work make you feel less than, celebrate their skill, and then aspire to do work like them. Use that. That's why they're sharing it with you too. One, they want a pat on the back. We all love a pat on the back. Who doesn't want a pat on the back? But they also are happy for you to take their work and run with it. Every week I sit here and I show you a trick. I show you something that you could draw. And within 5 hours or 6 hours, all over Facebook, on Clarity Worldwide especially, there they come, the little triangle people with the big bunches of flowers, or the balloons and the little triangle people. And when I see, and mostly much better than mine, and I go, oh, that's better, that's brilliant, that's better than mine, well done, mission accomplished. You see, I don't care that it's better than mine. I think that's brilliant that person, I could even give you the names and know exactly who's better than me. Of course I do. But it doesn't make me feel inadequate. It doesn't make me think, oh, Debbie's watching, I better not, I'm not as good as her. You know, my job is not to be the best. My job is to get you all to get together and get you motivated. That's my job. That's how I describe my job anyway. It's not to impress you. It's to motivate you. And that's it. That's my job. So judge me not, friends. Now let's have a look. You see how I know all the theory, but doesn't that look lovely? Look, here we are. And now I could go round with a tighter pencil. So this is the light one. Now what happens if we go in with a dark one? Oh yeah, instant. So now we're going in with the darker and we're reinforcing that stripe. Watch this. See it coming up brighter now? And you know, if we don't do anything else except learn how to make that stripe in the daisy, I love it. So we've got a darker colour, but before we do that one, let's see what happens if we apply a bit of elfenbein. Say after me, elfenbein, elfenbein. That's it. Elfenbein. spine. Ivory. Ivory. I'll tell you where we went at the weekend. God, blimey, that was an eye-opener. Who's been to see The Producers? Who's seen The Producers? Mel Gibson, I think. God, blimey. Mel Brooks. Not Mel Gibson. What am I thinking? Mel Brooks. Yeah, bloody it. I tell you what. We had no idea what we were going. I'll tell you what happened. Right, I'll do the Ivory one. I'm telling you. So Grace and I'm staying in the middle now, and I'm just adding a bit of that colour, just a little bit in the middle. Look, up that stripe, and like that. See how it's toning it down a bit? Yeah. So, so we went. First of all, we went to the V&A. That one's a bit ropey. We went to the V&A, and then after the V&A, well, let's see. What did we do at the V&A? We were going to go to a Wallace and Gromit exhibition. And then we found out that the Wallace and Gromit exhibition is on the other side of London, which was about as useful as a poke in the eye. So we didn't go to the Wallace and Gromit. It was at the Young V&A, which is not at the V&A. So there you go, lessons learned. Anyway, we were there, and we went to areas that we don't usually go to. So, for example, let's do the middle as well in Ivory, like that. See how it warms it up? Yes, so we went to let's have a look. Bit of depth now in the back, in the corners. We went to the silver area, the jewelry area, the photo area. We went to loads of different parts of the V&A that we don't usually bother with. We always end up in the same row, you know. It was fascinating. So we went up a level. We went up a couple of levels. Dave and I are members. Well, I'm a member, and Dave is my sort of usually I can take a guest. So, so that was really, really fascinating to go somewhere different. There was a really good photography from like the 50s in Black America. That was good, very good, powerful. You know, you can imagine. And then we went for lunch up in the members area, which is really lovely and light on top floor. So we had a nice lunch there. And then what did we do then? We headed off to, oh, I know. So we were going to go to the Sir John Soames Museum over, it was over near the Temple, near Temple. So we were going to go over there. In fact, we weren't going to go, we did go, but the queue, talk about London's little hidden secret, the queue was up the road, about an hour wait. So I said to Grace, park that idea. We're going to go another time midweek when there aren't loads and loads, because it was only a house, you know, it's not a huge museum, it's a house. It's pretty fascinating. Jim put me onto it. I've been there before with Dave, and he was an architect and a collector of art, and when he died in the 1830s, so nearly 100 years ago, it's like a time capsule. They just literally left his house exactly. They've left his house exactly as it was all those years ago, and it's just a wonderful, eclectic mix of art, and I thought Grace might really enjoy it. So would I have, but it was not to be because it was too busy. And I'm just trying to read what Grace is telling me here. Rebecca, happily I was in The Producers and one of the grannies with a Zimmer frame. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's about right. One of the grannies of the anyway. So we went from the it was a nice day anyway. So we walked around, and we went to the museum, the Sir John Soames Museum. Gave that a miss because it was too busy. And then we went to the disco. So this was at Tottenham Court Road off Denmark Street. And it's called, I've told you about this, it's called Day Fever. And I don't know where you think it, I don't know why people were saying it was a silent disco. There's nothing silent about it. It's anything but silent. It starts out really tame, right? 70s music. There's three different DJs, okay? And it starts out at 3 o'clock. We got there about early birds. We got there about 3:15, 3:30. And it was very much 70s, great music, great dancing. The idea behind it is kind of older people. Where do we love to dance? Where do we go? Where do we go to dance? You know, right, let's leave that for a bit now. I think I've done enough on that flower. I just want to go in with a little bit of that light blue over the top of that. See, just a little bit here. That's it, just a little line right across there like that. Yeah, so 70s, 60s, 70s music, great. Then the DJ changes, right? And now the beat, it starts to get really busy and the beat goes on, right? But the music vibe changes. Now we're in the 90s. There, this looks quite good, doesn't it? Now we're in the 90s, okay? Let me show you one I did earlier. So you see how this is darker, this is lighter, but it's the same principle. Do you see? Except on this one, I did the line going up that way, look. So you see how I could use exactly the same colours? Look how different it looks. If you go, the middle one, go up with the dark one, and then down with the light one from the top. Just saying, it's exactly the same thing, but how different does that look? Okay. Yeah, so now lighter colour, and I'm going to colour in the tube, this bit around the outside. Let's just do that now. Just a really light layer of blue. It's learning how to, this exercise is a great exercise in learning how to just put a light layer, almost hardly touching it. But you can see it, can't you? You can see it's changing colour. So we're going to go with like circular motions, just little tiny circular motions. If I was doing this slowly and heavily, I'll show you what I'm doing. Grab a bit of paper. I'm doing this all the time. That's what I'm doing, okay? But really fast and really tiny. See? Where was I? Oh yeah, disco. Second DJ rocks up. Seems to get a bit louder, certainly getting more crowded. Okay, so now the vibe is changing, and there's a lot of drinking going on. I mean, I don't drink, do I? So you know, I've got my wits about me. But there's a lot of people on the dance floor, and they've all got their drinks on the dance floor. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, got to say, but you know, it's the way it is. So the music's getting louder and the drink is starting to spill. Let's call it spill, shall we? Although it wasn't bad. I mean, a little bit. There was a little bit of spillage. You got to know that at this point it's about, I said to Grace, what's the time? I said, what's the time? And she was the one with the phone and she said, 4:30. This is 4:30 in the afternoon. Anyway, at 6:30, well, at 6 o'clock, DJ changes again, okay? And now the music, it gets another bit louder, quite a lot louder. Music's gone up another notch, and then the vibe changes to rave. Now, I'm not a rave girl. By the time rave music started, I was a mother, right? So my rave days never even started, let alone slowed down. I used to go to nightclubs and discos. I love dancing, but not a fan of the rave music. You know, that goes through your chest. You know. So I said to Grace, so at this point it's packed. People are starting to get hammered. Okay, this is at 6 o'clock. I know, you got to love the Brits. And then the DJ comes out. He's great. I remember him from last time, because this isn't the first time I've been. I remembered him from last time. The energy, I don't know what he's on, right? But I bet it's not legal. And he was going for it. I mean, and for some reason, I don't know why I think that I still can dance like I used to when I was in my 20s, but I was doing it. I was going for it. And then the DJ changes, the music changes, the vibe changes, the volume changes, and it was time to leave. And at this point, it was 6:30. And as we were leaving, I just took a suite. We were upstairs on the balcony, because this is underground as well, right? So we're 2 floors underground in a really big, it's a big do. And I thought, I know what I've got to do. I'm going to take a video, right, to show you, because you may say, this is not for the faint-hearted, this is not for the faint-hearted, but I'm going to show you the video, okay, so that you have an understanding. But remember, 3 to 4, 60s and 70s, 4 to 5, 80s and 90s, up to 2000. 5 to 6, started getting a little bit edgy. 6 o'clock, gloves are off, Barbara and Grace are out the door, okay? Because you would. If you've got any now, you get out of the door before they start. So let me see if I can find this. Okay, right, you ready? Calm. Chaos. Here he is. My mate. Mad, eh? Look at that. It's exhausting just watching it on the screen. Now imagine being in the middle of that lot. I know. But it was fun. It was really fun. Once a year, twice a year, perfect. With Grace, you know, let your hair down and go. But not my thing either, Barb. I know. But I've got to tell you, all the people in that mosh pit there, right? Most of them were at least 50. And I would say the majority were over 60. And that's what you've got to bear in mind. There were people there in their 70s as well, you know, although we met most of them in the cloakroom on the way out. they were making tracks. But it was mad. Grace is saying, show me an earlier I haven't got any earlier videos on my phone, Grace. I didn't have my handbag with me. Otherwise, I would have shown you a Dulcet Tones one, because it was really fun, the earlier ones. Anyway, there you go. Just wanted to let you know what Grace and I got up to on Saturday afternoon. I know, I loved it. Yeah, see, there's a side to grey that you didn't know. So we've done that blue around the edge, and now what I'll do is I'll go back around the edge of the blue. See how it go around the edge of the blue? The dark side, this bit here. Let's go around there, just on this side here. So we're going to go along there. So you're along there and then feather it out a little bit. Yeah. So then, oh, Grace has just sent me another video. This is the soft, the earlier one, yeah? I don't trust you, Grace. What are you sending? Then we went to, oh, where did we go then? Hugh Grant. Oh, yeah, that was good. Hang on. Hold on, hold on. Hang on, let me get it bigger. Right. There we are. Look at this guy. He was so lovely, you know, and he was a splitting image of Hugh Grant. And he was a great dancer, and he never stopped for 4 hours. He was up on the stage. He was just one of the public, but they let the public up on the stage, like Pan's people. And he just was going for it. And he came alone and he danced alone. And that was it. And there were a lot of people there, a lot of women our age who just went there, let their hair down, danced alone, weren't interested in dating or dancing with a bloke or anything. They just wanted to have a dance and get into the music. It was quite something, you know. Oh, there's one of Grace's sending. All right, that'll do. Yeah. So for some reason, and I would walk 5,000. And for some reason, I decided I could pogo at that point. And my knees yesterday. So then we went to, where do we go then? Oh, so then we were going to go home, and we were walking towards Charing Cross, and then we saw the theatre, the Garrick, right by Charing Cross, and the producers was on, and I said, well, that sounds nice. I said, I wonder if they've still got seats available. So I said, should we go in and should we ask for a bit impromptu, a bit like last minute? We didn't have tickets, didn't have a clue what it was about. I didn't even know it was a musical until I sat down. Anyway, yeah, we had a couple of seats. They were supposed to be 90 quid, down to 50 quid. Bargain. So we were right at the right time, 7:30, curtains, and in we went. We had no idea what we were letting ourselves in for, but we soon found out. Enough said. I didn't know what hit me. I spent the whole time with my mouth wide open. I should have, you know, on the curtains at the beginning, they had like the big light coming round to show you, and it was just a swastika. And I thought, what is going on? Anyway, it was so funny. So that was we watched that. Then we went home. We got home about 12:30, and so it was a fantastic Saturday, really, wasn't it, Grace? And then on Sunday, real treat. We went on talk about poles apart. So we went from a real seedy disco 2 floors down at Charing Cross to the Bluebell Railway and the Pullman carriage and lunch. And we had to dress smartly, and jeans and trainers weren't allowed. And then we had a beautiful 4-course meal whilst being in a beautiful, we were in Christine, one of the beautiful, they're like really lovely steam train, lovely carriage. We were in the nicest one, and the 3 of us went through the countryside looking at the beautiful bluebells. The shoots are starting up. Bluebell Railway, Bluebell Woods. Yeah, it was quite something, quite something. So that's what we did yesterday. Had a marvellous meal. And there were a couple of people opposite us, a couple, God, what a miserable bloke. I tell you what, the energy emanating from this chap, I've never known. And you know, like, have you ever met anybody like that where you think, God, cheer up, could be worse? And you go through all the, well, you don't know what he's going through. You go through all that in your head, you know, and at the end of it, you still go, but civility costs nothing. You know, civility costs nothing. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. A hello and a goodbye and a smile wouldn't go amiss. So, but apart from that, we had a great time, and it was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, so enjoyable. So enjoyable. We've had absolutely the best time. And it's not over yet. It's not over yet, Grace. Now, let's see. See how I'm building up that shade around the outside? Now, friends, I'm going to challenge you, okay? Because you've got time. This doesn't have to, I'll put two next to each other. Different vibe, different look. Both works in progress. Darker, lighter, yeah? I want you to do me and you a favour. If you've got these in the, or whatever you have got, it'd be lovely to see this coming through. If you received that in the newspaper, do us a favour, colour it in. Doesn't have to be in blue. Pink, beautiful for spring. Yellow, beautiful yellows and oranges. Pinks and lilacs. Blues, teal, any colour. Pick a colour, any colour, okay? And then finish it, make it lovely. Take a photo of it and then post it on Clarity Worldwide, yeah? And we, all of us, will comment. That's the deal. We comment on yours, you comment on ours, okay? Give your friends a lift. Give your friends a lift by liking, loving, giving a heart, and saying something uplifting and positive about their artwork. It won't be hard because it's always going to be lovely, okay? I know it is. Just do yourselves a favour as a community, because we've got 181 people. So in theory, there should be 181 of these on Clarity Worldwide, and everybody should be commenting. So you should get 180 comments. I say. And that's just the live viewers. We get about 1,500 people watching this afterwards. I know, aren't we lucky? So there you go. Coloured mine the other day and put it in my journal. Well done, Karen. Take a photograph of it, post it on Facebook. Wonderful. Trying to think where I put it for safekeeping. Ah, Sue, you'll find it. Anyway, listen, it's nearly 11 o'clock. So I must make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. I'll be back at 2 o'clock. I'll finish mine as well. I'll finish them both, and I'll do them differently. Yes, I will. Because you see, for me, this isn't just about colouring. It's like a meditation. For me, it's like yoga for the mind, you know. It's like getting out of my head and getting with my hands, which works every time. And at the moment, there is so much anxiety-inducing stuff going on in the world that the more we do this, the better, you know. And I have to say that letting my hair down with Grace in that club or disco, Day Fever, look it up. They go all over the country, you know. Don't be thinking, oh, I can't go because it's only in London and Charing Cross. No. They are everywhere. They go to Manchester, they go to Liverpool, Bristol, they're in Wales, they're all over the place. Brighton, look it up. It's a really big thing. And the whole idea behind it is, where do people our age go to dance? We, the children of the 60s and 70s, we love dancing. Where do we go? We still love dancing. That video I showed you, those people were all our age. Those people were our age. I know. Not all. This time, I have to say, we've been before. This time there were more, I found there was younger people, like 40s and 50s. Not so many of Grace's age. Grace was one of the youngest for certain. And there were more guys. I saw there were more blokes just wanting to have a dance, you know. Yeah, so look up Day Fever and see if there's one near you. It wasn't expensive. I think they were like 17 quid a ticket, something like that. Not bad. Not bad at all. So there you go. There, Grace has put the link up for you. Nice. What would you do without Grace? Everybody needs a Grace. Grace by name, Grace by nature. And when we were there was this lady, she was watching Grace and I dancing away. And she said, your mother and daughter? And I said, we are. And she said, you look so alike. And Grace, she thought she said, you look so alive. Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Anyway, lots of love. Met my hubby, ballroom dancing. He was the one who could do it. And Megan, I'm 50 in December, not sure I'd like it as I'm not fond of crowds. I'm with you on that, but you can pick your spot, you see. I wouldn't like it in the middle of the room. So I was with Grace right at the front in the corner. So there was nobody in front of us except the disco. So there was a kind of like a barrier, like a wall, and we were there. And I had my eye on the fire exit just in case. So, you know, that's the thing when you get to our age. You do, don't you? You case the joint. I had already had my escape route mapped out. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Grace, thanks for your yeah, and we heard about it from Janice Phillips. There you go. She was the one that put us onto it, and I'm just spreading the love. Have a great day. See you at 2 o'clock if you fancy a few more demos. Thanks for your help, Grace. Lots of love. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.